Hi there and welcome to another rowing workout where we row along together. I lay out what the workout is, then I row it and I talk to you about motivation, technique, dinner plans, all that kind of stuff, and you just row along and keep the same stroke rate and hopefully run about the same kind of pace differences that I describe as me, okay? What we're going to do then is a 29-minute row, but we're going to do it as 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Okay, so nice V shape in terms of duration, and as we go through each of these we are going to change our stroke rate and our pace. So we're going to start at 20 strokes a minute and our pace is going to be round about 2k plus 18. Don't worry if you don't have a 2k training pace. Really all you're going to do is you're going to start at an intensity where your heart rate starts to climb, your breathing starts to get a little bit heavy, but you can still talk and it doesn't feel too tough, okay? Because then next we're going to do 4 minutes and we're going to go up to 22 strokes a minute and we're going to go 2 seconds faster than the pace you were just rowing at, okay? Then we're going to do 3 minutes at 24 and another 2 seconds faster, 2 minutes at 26 and another 2 seconds faster, and then 1 minute at 28 and another 2 seconds faster. And then we're going to come back to another side, so we're going to start going slightly slower stroke rate and we're going to decrease our pace 2 seconds each time. Don't worry if that all sounds very complicated, trust me it's not, and I will be talking to you through this whole session and reminding you of when the stroke rate and pace changes are and all that kind of stuff, okay? So it really is a very simple one. It's only 29 minutes, but because you're going up and down through the stroke rates and paces, this is a fantastic workout, okay? It really is going to give you a really good workout. See, even that seagull up there agrees with me. So before we can get into our main session, we have to warm up obviously first. So we're going to do a 4-minute warm up today, and before we can even do that we have to set up our machine. Now on a concept 2, you set your drag factor first, which is the lever on the other side of my machine. If you don't know about drag factor and whereabouts to set it, please check out the video I have here. But if you don't, you just set it to kind of like maybe 3 or 4 for the time being before you read into it. If you have it around about 3 or 4, you're not going to do any damage to yourself or your technique or anything, okay? Too high is the thing you don't want to do, all right? Next up, set your monitor to eye height if you can, so you don't have to look up, you don't have to look down. And finally, set your foot stretches to a height where you're able to come to the front of the machine with your shins pointing vertically, okay? If you can't quite get there, there's a chance that your feet are set too high. If you go scooting straight past and your heels come straight off, there's a chance you're set too low, okay? But play around with your height. So our 4-minute warm-up, we're going to do this at around about 20 strokes a minute, and your intensity, you're going to start off with just thinking about enough of a push from your feet that you can feel some power going through your arms into the handle, okay? And then you can increase that intensity through the warm-up if you wish, okay? Here we go then, in 3, 2, 1, let's go. So it really is gentle, okay? If you have a 2k training pace, then really you're just thinking for time being of rowing right about 2k plus 20. If you don't know what a 2k training pace is, then you row a 2 kilometer time trial, divide your resulting time by 4, and that gives you your average 500 meter pace. And that is your 2k training pace. So if you did it in 8 minutes 20 divided by 4 would be 2 minutes and 5 seconds. So that's your 2k training pace, and when I say 2k plus 20, that means you row at 225. So you're pushing your feet into the machine at the same time that your hands connect the handle to whatever makes your machine go. Okay, so push and connect, but you're not pulling from the front, okay? That's really important. But in terms of the front of the machine, all you're thinking about is straight arms and hanging off the handle as you push your feet into the foot plates. I'll talk more about technique in the main session, but the important thing here is just to think about that push of the feet at the same time your hands connect the handle. If you push too soon, you lose power, and if you pull too soon, you lose power. Okay, in 3 strokes time, we're going to put 1 foot on the ground. 1 more. Okay, continue rowing. That shoe's not helping, hang on. Fortunately my grass isn't wet, so So just continue rowing with that one leg strapped in. This will help with your flexibility and compression at the front, but don't let it lead to you over compressing at the front. 2 more, and then we'll swap feet. There we go. Ooh. Now I'm still nursing a little bit of injury to my left side sacroiliac joint. And so this is a little bit uncomfortable. But I can feel it stretching off even now. Even in the 20 seconds it's taken me to get through this, I can feel it easing up, which is quite nice to be fair. Okay, both feet in, legs straight, and row with your back and arms. So you swing your back over your hips, then pull in your arms. And then you release your arms and swing back over your hips again. That swing of your back first adds so much power into your stroke, and you really don't want to lose it in your main stroke. One more here, and then let's roll to the front of the machine. Arms straight, forward tilt. Just press out with your legs. Not too hard, because I want you to concentrate on the timing of that foot press and the connection to the handle, but also I want you to concentrate on trying to hold this forward tilt and straight arms as you push with your legs. Okay, don't want to swing that back too soon. Oh, talking of too soon, I feel that warm-up ended too soon. I had so much more to say, but I will talk more about that within the main session itself. So have a quick drink. And then if you want to keep on just doing some light rowing while you wait for the main session to start, then please do. And I will be right back after I've programmed it into my monitor. Okay, so I've programmed this into my monitor using the Ergzone app. Now you can find it yourself there under the RowAlong track. And if you look for RA97 The Wringer, you'll see it there. Now, however, I've programmed it in as a solid 29-minute row. I've not done it as the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 intervals, because there's an issue with the Concept 2 monitor that will then throw off sync very slightly. Now, I'm not that data junkie that needs to actually see it split up that way. I'm quite happy to look at a graph afterwards anyway. However, if you want to do it, you can program it in as however you want yourself, either using Ergzone. You can duplicate my one and edit it into that if you wish, or you can program it yourself. I'm not going to complain. Just be aware that we may be slightly out of sync by the end of it with the delay of the monitor, okay? It's my only solution that I have to this issue, to be honest. So we're going to start this off at 20 strokes a minute, and your pace is going to be either 2k plus 18 or around about a 5 out of 10 effort, which is kind of just enough to know that you're working, but not so much that you're starting to feel tired. Because trust me, if you start this one out too hard, by the time you get up to that 28, and even as the time you back off even to the 26 for 2 minutes, you're gonna be absolutely gubbed, okay? So really be sensible here. Don't let your ego take over. Let yourself rise up and then fall back down again. If you want, you can go a little bit faster on that fall back down again, but please don't go too fast at the start here, because I want you to increase pace every single time we increase stroke rate, okay? If you're not able to because you started off too fast, you've blown the point of this workout, and I want you to write out 100 times, I will listen to that RowAlong guy, do what he says next time, all right? Okay, don't worry, I won't make you do that. Here we go then, so we're gonna start off in 3, 2, 1. So, before I get into talking technique and stuff, just gonna see what pace I settle into here. Okay, so we're at about 205 like that right now. I may fall off to 206, 207. This is because I'm thinking about an effort point of view. I know how much exertion, intensity I should be putting in here, because I've done this kind of session enough that even though I'm coming back from injury, I know I can still manage this row as long as I'm not daft enough to start off at the pace I would have rowed this at before I'd injured my back. So before, I would have been rowing these 20 strokes a minute sections around about 2:03 pace. Oh, hello sun. Forgot my sunglasses today. But I've eased back 3 or 4 seconds because this is the first kind of raised intensity session that I've done in about 3 weeks. But this is the genius of using your 2K average time as your training base, is because it always gives you the reference from where you can train. Whereas if you just do it by feel, it's a little bit woolly. Whereas I know that if I meant to, on my normal full fitness, row this at 2:03, that I can just back off by 3 seconds in terms of pace intensity to give myself a little bit of a easier ride. And it means that as I'm adjusting the intensity, I know I've taken it too easy, but I'm also reducing it enough. Because when it comes to intensity, especially in a session like this, like I said in that quick disclaimer, you can really get it wrong. If you start out too hard, even at full fitness, you might not make the whole 29 minutes. Or, if like me, you're coming back from injury, you could re-injure yourself. Or worse, you could really damage something and it's going to keep you off the rowing machine for a lot longer. Because this time round I tried, for pretty much the first time ever, to be sensible about my recovery. Instead of just giving it a week and trying to come back and re-injuring myself, I thought maybe I should do non-rowing activities for a while. Let my back heal, which hopefully it has. Still can't run, that still hurts, but I've moved at least from the indoor turbo trainer on the bike to now being able to do some rows, albeit still with a slightly wonky technique, which brings me to technique, which we'll use in 7 strokes time to increase our stroke rate and pace by just pushing a little harder with our feet. Okay, 2 more strokes. 1 more. So here we go, up to 22 strokes a minute. Just push a little harder with your feet. And what should have happened is your drive speed, that's the speed from here to here, will have increased because you're pushing harder. And if you match that slightly faster drive with a slightly faster recovery, then that should have just naturally taken you up to 22 strokes per minute. And because you are rowing 2 strokes per minute more than you were before,
due to that slightly more powerful push of your feet. Your pace should also have increased by 2 seconds. And it really is as simple as that. When we're down at these training values, just a little bit of a push is all you need to increase your pace. It's not like we're trying to over stress a stroke rate or even under stress. So in 1 minute's time, is that right? Hang on, no, that's not right. It should have said 2 minutes. Hang on, I've got to do maths. This is the downside to not setting my monitor to the proper intervals. Yeah, so in 1.5 minutes time, we're gonna increase that push just a little bit more, and that should be all it takes to get your rate up and your pace up. But that is counting on the fact that the rest of your technique is doing okay. And really, the big thing here is making sure you have that forwards tilt towards the front of the machine with straight arms, and you keep those arms straight as you push your feet into the machine, and that way the power has more of a chance to flow rather than fighting against it by pulling too early from the front. Okay, 2 more strokes, 1 more. Let's go up to 24. So just a little harder. And the good thing about 24 is that it's 1 stroke every 2.5 seconds. So if you're stuck with the rhythm of the stroke, just make sure that you are counting down in 2.5 second intervals. I find it easier to do that I go on like 10 and 7.5 is a bit woolly, but then 5, 2.5's a bit hard to tell, but then 0. So if you go on all of the 0 and 5s on your time countdown, you know at least 2 of your strokes are hitting 24. But with any luck, you've noticed your pace climb by another 2 seconds. And hopefully at this stage you're feeling an increase in intensity, but not so much that you have any thoughts about not being able to complete. should just be starting to get tough, but you know you can make it. But another just under 45 seconds at this rate and pace, and then we're going to increase again up to 26. So just 6 strokes. And it's just simple. However much you've been feeling that increase in leg drive, just increase it that much more after this one. Here we go. Slightly faster drive, followed by slightly faster recovery. It's all a fluid rhythm. There's a ratio, certainly up until 26, of run about 2 to 1, where your drive speed is twice as fast as your recovery. Because the point is, you want your recovery to be a recovery. So you're going racing to the front and not giving yourself time to recover. You're shortchanging yourself. All right. So 45 seconds. We'll go up to our 1 minute. Now you can increase as much as you want for this 1 minute at 28. You want to be nudging 10 out of 10 intensity here for the 1 minute, so maybe 2K plus 2, possibly. One more stroke. Here we go. Just push harder. Get that rhythm flowing. Remember, there's never a point in the stroke where you are stopped. You're not holding the handle in front of you, or sorry, against you here. You instantly let it recover with rhythm. You're not throwing it out, jerking it out, just in, out, in, out. Same pace in, same pace out. Okay, almost there. And then ease off your foot press after this one. Here we go. Drop. A couple of seconds. Back to where you were rowing at 26 last time. And make sure your stroke rate is 26. Often these change downs could be tougher in terms of control, because you may be just a little frayed at the edges after the faster 28 and after what's almost 16 minutes of escalating intensity. But don't worry, it'll get easier. Should already feel a lot easier than when you first dropped down to 26. 30 seconds to go on this one. As far as workouts are considered, this one should absolutely fly by for you. I can't believe that's already 17 minutes. 2 more. 1 more. Let's drop to 24 and slow by 2 seconds, taking you to the pace you were at the last time you were doing 24s. Sorry, I got a bit lost stroke rate there. I'm back on it. Now I was saying about my technique being still a little crooked, and that's because I'm swinging my back too soon as I drive in an effort to protect my SI joint. But I don't want you to do that. I want you to hold your forward tilt for as long as possible. Okay? Arms straight, forward tilt for at least half of your leg drive. And that way your legs get to put in their power efficiently and smoothly without your arms and your back fighting and therefore losing the power that they are then able to add in. Because the power order goes legs, back, arms. Legs, back, arms. And if you swing your back too soon, like I'm doing, you're losing that swing of your back that adds in that extra power. So one of the reasons I'm not hitting my usual pace, even if I was fit enough, is because I'm losing at least 2 seconds from not having the right backswing. Okay, 3, 2, 1, down to 22. Slow down your pace by another couple of seconds. 4 minutes here. And what you should be finding now is that you're starting to travel more towards that recovery feeling. You'll have started off this row at quite a low intensity. You'll have gone into a mid intensity during the 24s, then top for the 28 and possibly the second set of 26s, and then Now you're down at 22, and then 20, you should be locked in on more of a lower intensity sensation. Your heart rate may still be up. Mine is. I'm up at 151, which according to Ergzone is still 83% of my max rowing heart rate. So from a body intensity, or cardio at least, it's still up there, even if my muscles don't feel the same as the intensity backs off. And that actually is one of the dangers of low intensity training. When I say dangers, I mean harm to your training progress, is that you can feel like your muscles can give more when you're doing a 2K plus 18 20 strokes a minute row, but it's not really about your muscles for those low intensity rows. It's about heart rate and keeping it below, certainly below 70% of max. It's okay here because cardiac drift from the rise intensity means it's unlikely to recover that low for me. But if you're sitting down to do a 20-minute or 30-minute 20 strokes a minute 2K plus 18 row, and you have a heart rate monitor, try not to let it go over 70% of max. Okay, one more here. Now let's drop it. 20 strokes a minute. And another 2 seconds slower. Now this really is where, if you haven't been thinking about technique and body positions through this row, this stroke rate is slow enough that you should be able to spend time focusing on it. So into the front, arms straight, tilt over your hips, so you are leaning over your hips towards the front of the machine. You want a good posture, only slide forwards enough for shins to point vertical. You want the chin neutral, eyes straight ahead, and then when you're ready, keep your arms straight, keep that forward lean, and push the machine away from you with your feet. Push. And even if your backswing takes a little bit of work to delay it, your arms are really easy to delay. So I'm straight pull, or hang pull, because all I'm doing is hanging off the handle, fingers hooked over it, and then as I push, that power goes up through my body, through my arms, into my hands, and all I'm really doing is bracing against the handle to get that force into the machine. And the longer you can hold your forward tilt, the longer that hang is, and the more powerful that push will be. But like I say, when I try it, I can just feel a flash of pain through my SI joint, so I'm not doing that. Then make sure, pull in at the back, boom. You still want to finish strong. Wrists flat, elbows through your sides. A little outward flare is okay, but not chicken wings, okay? Not out to the side like that. And then the pace you brought the handle in at, release it at. In, out. Get your arms straight. That will trigger your forward tilt, so that by the time your hands are past your knees, you're in that full tilt forwards, and all you need to do is bend your knees to effortlessly roll towards the front of the machine, and you're already in the perfect straight arms and forward tilt, ready for the next stroke, of which we only have 5 left. 4, 3, 2, 1. There you go. So, hopefully, if you've listened to me for pace, like I said, that would have taken you from low intensity up through mid to top, back through mid, and then kind of either lower mid or upper low. You don't really return back to that low intensity again. And now you've done it once, you can think, right, if I did start off 2 seconds faster next time, how would that change the workout? Would it make it a more fun, tough one that you might be more interested in? To come back to it again, use the same format, but push it a little bit more. Or for a recovery workout, you can start 2 seconds slower and go up. Or you can push the 26 pace by 3 seconds instead of 2, or you get what I mean. You can tweak this to your own desires. I've just put this out in front of you from a stroke rate point of view, and now you've done it once, you can tweak to however you wish, okay? So, talking to tweak, that's even that slide forwards hurt my back. Oh dear. I have the shoes of a 10-year-old and the back of a 50-year-old. So, 2-minute cooldown I'm just programming in here. Again, I've got that under the RowAlong track on Ergzone, under the a label bookmark these. You'll find both the 4-minute warm-up and the 2-minute cooldown on there. Ergzone's a great app to check out. So 2-minute cooldown, do this pretty much the same pace you just finished this off at, and then you can just slow down after a minute. So in 3, 2, 1, let's go. But it is important to cool down, not only physically, but mentally. The only time really I condone shaving off a cooldown is either if you're about to go and do something else, like you're about to jump on the spin bike or cross trainer or ski erg or whatever, or treadmill, or if you're in a really busy gym and there's a crowd of people waiting to get on your machine. and you have just spent ages. And I mean, it's not ages for us as rowers, but as far as your usual gym user is concerned, 29 minutes might as well be a lifetime. Most of the time when I'm at the gym, I see folks, really it's like 10 minutes maximum. That's why I made a whole playlist, not a whole, but there's a few rows on there, rowing for gym users, trying to give them ideas and options on how to not just sit down on a rowing machine for 10 minutes, kind of flail up and down a bit, not particularly get the best out of the machine. Because hopefully you'll agree that as your technique improves, your fitness improves, your strength improves, and the more you can put into this machine, the more you get out of it. The harder you work, the more you get back. And harder doesn't need to mean intensity. 30 minutes, 20 strokes a minute, 2K plus 18 low intensity row is just as good as a 5-minute sprint. Last one here for me. You don't have to stop cooling down, of course. You can keep on going. However, if you have the time and the space, then bonk, there's Stretchy John, and he's arrived to take you through some stretching. These are basically the usual stretches I do when I'm fully fit, when everything works. In fact, I'll go on this side. So yeah, hamstrings, quads, glutes, triceps, biceps. Oh, however, with my back injury, I know that most important things I can stretch are my hip flexors and my glutes. Don't worry, I'll save you me stretching the glutes though. You don't need to see that. Oh, so hope you enjoyed that one. I know I did. I mean, again, it's one of these, I'm going to put this into the playlist for recovery rowing, or whatever it's called, the 0 to hero, all that kind of stuff, because it's a great row to do, especially if you're a new rower as well, because it exposes you to different stroke rates. And I know quite a lot of people aren't really that happy up at the higher stroke rate, so the fact that it's a shorter duration, that you only have 1 minute up at 28, means you're not like, oh, how do I? If I did an hour at 28, I mean, even I'd struggle, even I. No, but I'd struggle doing an hour at 28, so just holding that rhythm. I think 26 is my kind of comfortable, fast, long duration rate. Like if I was doing a 60-minute time trial or a half marathon as fast as I could, I'd probably do most of it at 26 strokes a minute. But then you can do, this is the thing about stroke rate and pace, you can do it that way, or you can slow the stroke rate right down to like 20, but push the stroke a little bit faster. So I'm saying 2K plus 18 here for 20 strokes a minute, but you can do like an hour at 20 strokes a minute, but at 2K plus 15, so you're actually putting a lot more into the stroke. You're kind of overloading the natural feeling for 20. But the thing is, if you think about like gears on a bike, if you can automatically kind of hit the right intensity for each gear, for each stroke rate when you're rowing, it means that you're training, and when you actually do sit down and do like a faster row and things, everything feels okay, and you don't feel like you're overdoing things, and you're in control, and the sensations to your body as you're rowing, you know what to expect, you know when the intensity's starting to get a bit too much for that stroke rate, and you can back off and things. So this is kind of why you do all this practice, is to teach your body the sensations of how things feel. So anyway, right, I'm going to climb back on again. Oh, hello. It's still a bit windy, as lovely as it is. It still is a little bit breezy out here, but would you like my new, this is my holiday haircut, gone a lot shorter. Even I said to the guy, I said, how short can you make it without me looking ridiculous? And then I showed him a photo of like 2 years ago during lockdown when I shaved my own head after a bit of a haircut mishap. And he's like, I can go short enough that you won't look that stupid. I'm like, thanks mate. Yeah, never trust a sarcastic barber or a bald barber. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. This is another just standalone workout, just as a single one. Again, I'm afraid I'm back into that I need to recover point of view before I can start to jump back into a plan. But because right now it's the end of June 2022, yeah, 2022, I noticed that this always happens through the summer. There's a real dip in viewing and kind of uptake of the videos that I make. So part of me thinks that even if I were to go into kind of redoing the 2K plan right now, it'd be folly. It'd be like not really the best thing to do, because not that many people would watch it, and it'd just go. So I think I'll probably leave doing the 2K plan until kind of like August-ish or something, as a return for the new season, or maybe like late August, and then through July and August, I'll maybe do some longer rows for people that just want to have some kind of core fitness. Of course, I also have to fit in a vacation at one point, so we'll see what happens there. Hopefully, where I go, it doesn't have a gym, but around the corner it does have a gym. So hopefully they've got a rowing machine. And if that's the case, then I will take my camera and I'll try and do some al fresco row-alongs, when I'm on holiday. Not too sure from a security point of view whether that's a good idea or not, but we've got a house sitter while I'm gone, so it's fine. Anyway, right, okay. I'm hoping that he's come close to the end of his stretching. Is he still on his biceps yet with that rotation? So I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very much for spending time with me on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please do let me know whether you did in the comments, or if you're doing this in the podcast, let me know how you got on with it, whether it worked for you, and just say hi, really. You can come along to the Facebook RowAlong Workouts group and say hello there, or you can email me at info@rowalong.com. You can just take a look at all my other workouts that are here on the channel, and just enjoy the channel for as much as you can and say hello. Okay, so thank you very much for doing this one with me. I'll try and make a couple more as quick as I can, as long as my back can handle it, and I will see you in any of my other videos. Okay, so until then, be well. Bye bye.